Jenna, can you hear us? Jenna, I think you're on mute.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, that works. Wanted to make sure. We're gonna wait to see if our other colleague gets online and start right at 6:30. Amanda, can you hear us? Yeah. Yes. Well, we're 30 seconds early. Good evening. We'll call the July 13th, 2026, 6:30 p.m. school board meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first thing on the agenda is to elect the board officers for 26-27 term for this next year pursuant to ORS 332-040, 332-005 sub 2, and Sweet Home School District Policy BC VCA. I'm going to read the process a little bit off of this document that all the board members were given prior to tonight. And I think Julie has some copies. If anybody in the public's interested, they can get up and get one. But during this organizational meeting, the board will elect its officers for the coming year: board chair, vice chair 1, vice chair 2. The current board chair will preside over the election of the new board chair. And from there, the new board chair will run the rest of the meeting. Nominations for each office will be open separately, beginning with board chair, followed by vice chair 1 and vice chair 2. Any board member may nominate another board member, or a member may nominate themselves. It's not we're not going to do have a motion second. We're going to throw everybody into a pool. After an opportunity has been provided for additional nominations, the nomination for that office will be closed. If one candidate is nominated, the board may elect that individual by unanimous consent. If there's more than one nominee, the board will vote to determine the officer for that position. Once the new chair is elected, which is consistent with our board rules, they'll immediately assume the chair and conduct the remainder of the officer elections. And to ensure an orderly and transparent election process, the election of the board officers will be conducted by a written ballot using tally sheets that you have before you. Nominations will be opened and closed before any vote is taken. Once the nominations are closed, each board member will record their vote in the provided tally sheet. Votes will be collected and counted by the board secretary and one additional designated individual, the business manager. The candidate receiving a majority of the votes cast will be elected to office. The vote totals will be announced and recorded in the meeting minutes. So first, we're just going to start with the board chair, and we'll open it up for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Rachel Maynard for chair.
Okay. Are there any other nominations?
Jenna.
Yes, I think that's permitted. So at this point, we have Rachel Maynard and Dale Keen. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, please mark your ballots. And then maybe fold them. Julie or Kevin. We can bring it to you, or you can come get them. Amanda, you can go ahead and vote verbally, or she can do a side chat, I think, with Michelle, but nobody can see.
She might have, I got it, I got it.
One of the two candidates is Chris.
Right, but somebody put, else.
Have them revote, maybe.
I guess.
Does it make a difference in that?
So we. Yeah.
So the total is supposed to be announced and recorded in meeting minutes anyway, according to the sheet, so. You can just read off who got what votes, and if that one.
There, we got 6 votes, we got 2 votes.
Okay. That works.
And that's one who got, losing, that would get it out of here, and then what does it?
Okay. And then pursuant to the board rules, I'm gonna happily turn this over.
And also the floor for nominations for vice chair one.
I would like to nominate Rachel Maynard for vice chair one.
Was there another one?
Like, sure.
Others? Okay, nominations for vice chair one are closed. Go ahead and vote, please.
So Rachel or
Rachel or Mike?
Or,
Nope.
We've got Mike Adams with 7 and Rachel 2.
Mike Adams is first vice chair. And I'll open nominations for second vice chair.
I would like to nominate Rachel Maynard for second vice chair.
Any others? Not hearing any. I close the nominations for second vice chair. And please vote. Jenna is the second vice chair. And we have elected board officers for the 2026-27 year. With that, any public comment? Yes, sir.
We enforcing the 3-minute limit tonight? Okay. Good evening. I have a few concerns and questions that have been associated with the proposed changes to the board policies. As the current elected body, you are entrusted by the public to make informed decisions that are in the best interest of everybody, not just a few. These decisions have far-reaching impacts on the future school governing body. As you know, when boards have turnover, there are often big learning curves for new members, and I encourage you all to think about these changes and the wording that has been proposed in light of future governance. One of the examples that comes to my mind is the proposed change to the policy titled Board Officers. The proposed changes state, if public comment is part of the meeting, the board chair may regulate the order, length of appearances, and limit appearances to presentations of, quote, relevant points, in accordance with board policy titled Public Comment at Board Meetings. If you adopt this new policy, you may allow a sitting chair to silence the public if they choose it is not a relevant point. Hearing from the public should always be valued, especially if they provide a different viewpoint. You represent the public and all voices matter and they should be heard. This new policy contradicts current board policy titled Public Comments at Board Meetings, which states a person speaking during the public comment portion of the meeting may comment on a topic not on the published agenda. Secondly, I see proposed changes to the meeting minutes policy that allow for electronic versions or recording of the meetings to act as the minutes. This is a fantastic improvement. Can we get microphones for each individual board member? It is a little difficult on YouTube to understand and hear everybody and make sure that they pick up the person. There's been countless times in the last 6 months when I personally have gone to review a board meeting and it's very difficult to understand what is being said. Thank you also to this governing board for reducing the superintendent's travel budget. This district went from spending over $46,000 to, at last count, just above $8,000 this fiscal year. As a tax-paying citizen, I really appreciate working to make every dollar stretch for students and the fiscal transparency and responsibility that's come from this. Thank you for your diligence in reviewing these policies and not just rubber stamping them. They have far-reaching effects. This change in the policy appears to be an attempt to silence the public, and I don't think this governing body wants to do that. Thank you.
I don't see anybody else. Next, I would entertain approval for the agenda and any changes.
Can I make a motion to discuss O and Q, or remove them and discuss them at a later time?
We, on the consent agenda,
Yes,
under the consent agenda.
under the consent agenda.
Yeah, wait till we get to the actual act, then you can, yes, you can.
Okay,
All set.
Second, I'm looking for a motion for approval of the agenda.
That should be.
She's, yeah, but we're not to the consent agenda yet. I'm just looking for approval for the agenda before us.
Make a motion to approve the agenda and changes.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, not hearing any. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Looks like the motion passes. Okay, personnel report. Superintendent.
Okay, thank you. Board Chair King. My overall report with students gone is going to be short because this month is one of the unique ones that allows that. What I would like to do is move to Mayor Susan Coleman, who is going to speak about the Sweet Health Program, what it did, the results it had, and put in an early request for or anyone
out there listening or available to get behind this and help that.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Keeney, members of the board, and Superintendent Martin. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share the first year results of Sweet Help. Tonight, I'd like to do two things. First, share what has happened during the inaugural year of Sweet Help. Second, invite you to see the remarkable difference a community can make when it comes together around one simple goal, helping children learn to read. As many of you probably already know about this information, but I want to review it just for the general good. Before talking about Sweet Help, it's important to understand why it matters. Reading is the foundation of everything else we ask children to learn. When children struggle to read, they also struggle in science, math, history, even understanding directions, completing job applications, navigating healthcare, or fully participating in civic life as adults. Nationally, roughly 2 out of every 3 fourth graders are not reading proficiently. That isn't just an education issue, it's a community issue. The encouraging news is that we don't have to solve it alone. Communities can help schools. And that's exactly what Sweet Help was designed to do. In November of 2024, I reached out to Superintendent Martin with a simple question: what would it look like if community volunteers came alongside our elementary schools to help children learn to read? He connected me with Director of Teaching and Learning, Barbie Riggs. Together, we began imagining what that partnership could look like. Barbie gave the program its wonderful name, Sweet Help, and early literacy coach Katie Adams designed the framework that allows teachers and volunteers to work together effectively inside the classroom. Last summer, the organization I work for, Children's Literacy Project, secured a private grant funding to launch the program. That funding provided a volunteer coordinator, Michelle Knight, and allowing Sweet Help to begin serving students in all 4 elementary schools. How this program works. The model is intentionally simple. Teachers identify students who would benefit from additional reading practice. Community volunteers complete a background check and district training. Then each week, those volunteers spend time reading one-on-one or in a small group with students identified by their teachers. Teachers remain the instructional experts. Reading buddies simply provide one thing many children need more of: time reading with a caring adult. The first year results, you have those in a report before you. The response from the community was extraordinary. We had 41 volunteers sign up, 30 were active weekly. All 4 elementary schools had volunteers, 10 classrooms received reading buddies, more than 125 students received additional reading support. We hosted 9 family literacy nights where it brought together families around books and reading. Most encouraging of all, every participating classroom showed improvement in reading proficiency. As you see in your chart before you, there are 7 classrooms represented, and you can see the spread, the increase from what kids were reading at. The first column is at or above grade level at the beginning of the year, and at or above grade level at the end of the year. While many factors contribute to student achievement, district administrators believe reading buddies provided meaningful support for that growth. One story captures the year especially well. One kindergarten teacher was initially uncertain whether volunteers would really make a difference. By the end of that year, every student in her classroom was reading at or above grade level. She asked to have reading buddies come back. As you can see, she's the one at the top of the chart there. Her class started at 19%, and by the end of the year, every one of her kindergartners were reading at grade level. Sweet Help also had family literacy nights that were hosted at Hillside Fellowship. We shared meals. We made meals for families. We helped families with reading. We also provided prizes and books for children. So wanted to say we're really grateful for people. Programs like this don't happen because of one organization. They happen because many people choose to work together. So I'm grateful for Superintendent Terry Martin, Director of Teaching and Learning Barbie Riggs, Early Literacy Coach Katie Adams, especially Principal Mark Looney, because he welcomed us first in his school, but then also for all of the principals who welcomed volunteers to come in, all of the teachers that welcomed volunteers. Obviously, our volunteer coordinator, Michelle Knight, she was outstanding and organized the volunteers recruiting many of them. I also want to thank all of the volunteers, our local churches, our community partners, generous donors. Mike Adams was also one of the reading buddies. I want to thank him as well. And just the students and families for welcoming us to the school. It's been a community effort. It's been a joy. I know that the reading buddies have looked forward to being with their students. I heard from one teacher, the student had finished reading his book to the volunteer and was supposed to come and get a book for the volunteer to read to the child, and came to the teacher and said, "Can I just talk to him? I need somebody to talk to." So the reading buddies are making a larger impact than just literacy. Also, this first year, we've been able to build a foundation. We've established volunteer recruiting systems, training processes, security procedures, program branding, volunteer identification badges, and a sustainable model that will continue to grow. We're excited about what will come next. I'll close with this thought: one adult, one child, 1 hour each week can change the trajectory of a student's life. That's the heart of Sweet Help. Thank you for trusting us to partner with the school district. It's been an honor to serve the students. We look forward to continuing this work together. And if any other board member would like to spend an hour being a reading buddy, reach out to us. I have cards for you. So thank you for this opportunity to share this with you. It's been really a joy and a delight to watch children grow, and also to activate some volunteers in our community. Thank you.
I have a question before we go on.
Yes.
So and thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
So right now, the volunteers currently reading for an hour, or that's the ultimate goal?
The volunteers actually are at the whim of the teachers. The teachers, when they sign up and say, "I can handle a volunteer in my classroom," will then choose the time that works best for their classroom structure and the time limit that would be. So it just depends. It doesn't mean that the volunteer is doing all the reading. The volunteer is there for however coaching the teacher assigns to the volunteer. If the volunteer is to do flashcards, that's what they do. Usually the student does the reading, and then maybe a volunteer would read a higher level book to the child.
That was my second question.
Yes.
Follow the curriculum of the classroom, or just whatever the needs might be?
Well, the curriculum and what the needs might be. If specific kids need an improvement in one area, then the volunteer will focus on that area. Yeah. Any other questions? Are you okay with this? I'm going to hand these out. This is a way you can all sign up to be a reading buddy. So thank you so much for your time.
Chair Dean, if I may continue. Thank you to Mayor Pullman and Michelle Knight and Katie, who are leading the center driving course in this program. Greatly appreciate them. Wish them continued success and more in the years to come. One thing I just wanted to put out there is that we did have a productive work session today on made positive progress on board and superintendent goals. So that's appreciated to all the board members that were able to participate in that. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, on to the consent agenda.
I would like to make a motion to discuss, yes, O and Q in the consent agenda.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay. A motion to remove consent agenda item O and consent agenda item Q for discussion. Is there any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So let me read through the consent agenda here. Consent agenda A, approved minutes from June 8th, 2026 school board meeting and June 22nd, 2026 special board meeting. B, designate the local government investment pool and key bank as depositories for the district for 2026-27 according to ORS 328.441 DG. Designate superintendent as chief administrative officer, district clerk, and hearings officer for 2026-27, ORS 332-515. D, designate Polly Rogers as auditors of record for 2026-2027. E, designate Hungerford Law Firm as attorney of record for 2026-2027. Policy DJCA. F, authorize cooperative purchasing agreements with other local education agencies, county, state, and federal agencies for 2026-2027. G, designate the business manager as the deputy clerk, custodian of funds, and budget officer for 2026-2027, according to ORS 328.441, 328.445, and ORS 294.331. H, designate superintendent as the signature authority on all state and federal grants for 2026-2027, ORS 332.525. Designate Brown and Brown as our insurance agent of record for 2026-2027. J, authorize business manager and superintendent to handle district funds for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. K, authorize Sweet Home School Board as the local public contract review board, ORS 29A.060.
27.
Thank you. 279A.060. L, approve to extend the award of food products and non-food supplies to Cisco for the 2026-2027 school year. M, accept resignation of Amanda Hill, HR and benefits specialist, effective July 10, 2026. N, approve the transfer of Lisa Martin to HR and benefits specialist position in the business office, effective July 1, 2026. Skip the O. P, accept the resignation of Elias Stuckert, science teacher at the high school, effective immediately. R, approve the hire of, is it Crane Tinley? Sixth grade teacher at Oak Heights Elementary, effective 8/31 of 2026. Approve S, approve the resignation of Laurel Adams, fourth grade teacher at Oak Heights Elementary, effective 6/12/2026. Have a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second that motion.
Without.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the consent agenda, withholding O and Q for further discussion. Any discussion on it?
So just have a quick question.
Yes.
I know every year we do these. Have they changed at all, or is this like verbatim from previous years?
I'm not sure what you're,
So I know in July, we normally do things like contracts and like Hupperford and Cisco. Is that just what this is? Typical July?
yep,
And no big changes to any of our, okay.
nope. Any other questions? Right. All in favor of the consent agenda?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda passes. Okay, I'll open it up for the discussion of O and Q. Let me restate that O is approve the hire of Ryan Adams, principal of Oak Heights, effective August 6, 2026, and Q, approve the hire of Kathy Brands Hawken, 0.4 FTE learning consultant special ed, effective 8/31/2026 on a post-retirement. It's up to you for what you want to ask.
I have questions regarding this agenda, and I want to address why I'm asking these questions in a public meeting. Following our last meeting, the superintendent invited me to discuss my questions privately. He let me know I could call him anytime with questions. At that time, I explained these type of meetings make me highly uncomfortable. My reason is simple. I believe these questions should be asked and answered in a public setting. They relate to district business, and I believe the board and community deserves to hear the same information at the same time. Public discussion promotes transparency, ensure all board members have equal access to the same information, and allows the community to better understand the decisions being made on their behalf. My intent is not to make these processes more difficult, but to uphold an open and transparent governing process and ensure that information relevant to board decisions is shared publicly whenever possible. That being said, my questions are about ensuring our hiring process is consistent and transparent. I am not asking about the qualifications of any individual applicant in an open session. But what is the district's policy regarding family members working for the district? I understand this is a small town, and as the superintendent has stated many times, the district is the biggest employer for this town. Does the district have a nepotism policy?
I'll let you answer that. Jared?
We do have policy to speak to that, if. What is your concern in regard to O?
Well, when I wrote this, S was not in there, so,
Yeah, so had, Laurel continued as a teacher at Oak Heights, Ryan would not have been her evaluator. Much in the same, I think, will be the case when we get to Q. But does that answer your question on L?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And then if family members work in the same district or school, what safeguards are in place to protect the district for legal repercussions? So you said she wouldn't have been evaluated by her spouse.
Yes. We have the board policy. I don't have that at my fingertips. I can get that to you, the entire board.
EFB.
The,
Box,
thank you.
and it pretty much follows, this and pretty much follows a slate law that. Well, it says the board. But the same is true for. Nepotism in general, the board, employee board, employee of board member. May not appoint, employee, promote, discharge, fire. Or promote or advocate for such an employment decision for relative or member of the household. So what I know from experience, different counties have done different things. Our county did have a policy at one point. I know the sheriff, once the sheriff retired, a deputy that's way down the chain of command. Then asked for that sheriff's daughter's hand in marriage. He waited until after the sheriff had retired. Klamath County, in some last couple of years ago, had an agreement where, the county commissioners approved an agreement that the sheriff would not make any decision related to his lieutenant or sergeant, sons. And that turned into a, I guess the sheriff, what you basically need to do in that business policy is appoint somebody in between them, so you're not the direct supervisor. And sometimes that is, the sheriff decides, yeah, I'm gonna also be in charge of the detectives, the detectives can be 4%. Hey, clothing allowance. And that's outside the agreement, and county elected officials are better than chaos in newspaper. It is how that last one came, but I think it's good. It's a good question, and I think Terry probably has, I would guess somebody ever designated with to do that.
With an example,
And that would be writing, right? Give you some kind of or.
Yeah, there's in a district our size, that's everywhere. We've seen former chair and now Vice Chair Mike Adams step off in any debates relating to his wife.
Right.
For employee, we've got 2 employees who have no supervisory duty with one another, although they're married. We've got a principal whose wife is a secretary, but you know, in a different building. So in a town our size, there is that.
Right.
It absolutely happens. It got 2 examples right here.
This
But-
was just the first I had heard of
Right.
being that close.
Yeah, sure. And so there are safeguards, of course, that we put in place to protect the employees, the other employees in the district. So, yes.
Well, then before, when I was a teacher, the superintendent. And his wife ran the cafeteria. So another administrator, sort of supervisor, evaluated. They just take care of it sometimes.
Does that answer all your questions?
Believe so, yes. Thank you.
So I would take a motion to accept the item O, approve the hire Ryan Adams, principal of Oak Heights, effective August 6, 2026. And Q, approve the hire of Kathy Brands Hawken, .4 FTE learning consultant, special ed, effective 8/31/2026 on a post-retirement.
All motion to approve or Q.
I'll second.
I have a motion to approve item O and item Q. Second, any other discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I think it was intimated but not directly stated. Kathy is the wife of Director Brian Brands, and he will not be her supervisor. That will be another director.
Thank you.
So I just want to make sure to answer that second part of the question that was there.
Thank you. And I have a motion and a second. Do I hear any other? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And number 7, we have a slew of new policies to read over. This is the first reading, so please read over those in between, and if you have any questions, direct them at me or Terry or
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
Are these all from OSBA?
some of them, well, they all come from OSBA, but they're not necessarily written by us, OSBA.
Are we locally,
Yes.
do you mind telling me which ones those are? Which ones?
I don't particularly know which ones.
Okay.
Most of them are, it's
So I
the,
just write
Hey.
Gary and,
yeah, it's changed, most of them are changes due to updated ORS.
but the ones local that have been changed locally, I just have to ask
Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah, you can know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
And then with a first read, we're not
first
adopting
reading,
these.
no, this is just getting them on agenda. We can adopt them during the second reading with a, I forget what.
Unanimous.
We could adopt them on a second reading.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and under that B, get bond update information, Kevin, we'll leave it to you.
Okay, thanks, Dale. This will actually be Josh. And so I'll go ahead and get started. I would say, especially since school is out, the most common question Josh and I have received has been, when will construction begin? And a lot still has to happen. And so part of the point of this presentation is to give you an update on where we are at. And so to begin, see, I went one slide too far. Steps we're taking right now to meet bond objectives. The first was to maintain the bond rate. And we are working with Piper Sandler. They are a municipal bond underwriter who was selected through a competitive request for proposals process to prepare for the bond sale. And we are likely timing sometime this winter to issue the bonds, and the bond payments will be structured to maintain the existing bond rate, so we meet that objective. Second, we're right now we've received notification that we will receive the $12.2 million Oregon School Capital Improvement Matching Grant. And we are providing all of the necessary documents so we can receive that. It is exciting to mention that for this particular grant, prior to Sweet Home, the largest grant ever awarded in Oregon was $12 million, even to Portland Public Schools. After that, Tiger Tualatin received, it was between 8.2 and 8.3 million. So with this, we're going to receive for this grant the largest amount ever awarded in the state of Oregon. So it's neat. That's something that, definitely helps keep costs down for our local taxpayers.
Can you see the book again?
Yeah.
No, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
Yeah. Thank you to our community members that supported the bond to be able to keep that money here in Sweet Home. Third, upgrade vocational and career tech training facilities to help prepare students for skilled trades and local jobs. As a first step right now, we're considering adding a trades learning lab with the wood shop. I think, Mr. Nickel, when you were a teacher, this is something that you were bringing in. We really want to make that happen and do it right. And, having the bond will help on the financial side. And the thought process here is we want to give kids exposure to trades, and that works two ways. Hopefully it's something where a student sees it and sees, hey, this is something I could see myself doing for a career. At the same time, too, it might be a student tried something and they see that it's not really what they want to do, and there's value in that too. Much better to learn that when you're, say, a junior in high school than after you graduate and you're in an apprenticeship program. So, this is something we're excited about and working on. Then fourth, select an architect to design a more secure and significantly improved Sweet Home High School campus using durable, Northwest appropriate construction that will serve students for decades to come. And we kind of have a head start on this. We last year issued a request for proposals for our district's long-range facility plan. We went through a competitive process and we selected Glass Architects for that. And as part of that RFP, it included an option that the selected firm could provide subsequent services subject to successful agreement on scope and fees. And the recommendation we're making tonight is to go forward with GLAS, and I'm going to kind of turn it over to Josh to help explain why.
So the GLAS was the architect in the 2001 bond, the project we did at the high school. So we've had a long history. They know the school really well. They know the ins and outs of what's been done there in the past. They were also the architect for the junior high remodel. So working with them, they know us personally quite well. I can call his personal cell phone, the owner of the company, to be able to talk about stuff. So that working relationship is also a great thing. And we think they did wonderful in junior high, but the transformation up there has been crazy. So here's a very preliminary site plan. Working with them in the long range facility plan, we're trying to show what's possible to be done at the high school, and then continuing to work with them. This is kind of what the direction that we're at now. Now this is preliminary. This is just kind of the first. If we go back to this picture, Kevin and I, he pulled up some pictures of the junior high earlier. At this stage, when we were talking junior high, it didn't look anything like this. It was.
Where's that picture at?
Well, we talked about putting it in there. This had a on it, and this had a big old pitch thing.
Yeah.
So when we're going through this stuff, remember, we're at the very, very, very beginnings of the talk, and so things will change, colors aren't anything in these pictures, I mean, they're just the ideas right now, so I don't want people to get too hung up on the color of the grass. Okay, so right now, we're looking at, these being, so there's classrooms here, there's B building, C building, those be removed, and then a 2-story classroom wing being connected, so the hallway coming in from the front office would go straight through. So we clean up those jogs that we have, you guys remember how we did junior high, similar idea, you walk in that main hallway and there's a corridor going straight through, you don't hit a wall and having to figure out where the maze goes. So that's our kind of direction we're headed right now, we'll kind of go through each one of these. New bus loops, you guys remember the property that was acquired right here? We're also in the process of acquiring the back of the piece right here, so that will be able to create the bus loop completely separate from the main traffic. And you guys can remember back to junior high, how bad it was before and then after everybody, that was a huge, huge win for junior high when we got the buses separated. It will be here also. As what Kevin was talking about with the trades lab and the wood shop area being, so where automotive was in this building here, because the current wood shop is well beyond its lifespan. And I got some funny stories about that one. And so we're gonna, right now, the leading thing we're talking about is moving into inside what was the automotive. We're not 100% on what that for sure, but that is what we're talking. The price per square foot to build buildings is so much that we're trying to figure out ways just to make this all cut. You think that amount of money we have, but it sounds like a crazy amount of money that we do anything we want, but we're still trying to figure out how to make it happen. Cost of still the same. This is kind of what I talked about earlier. So we have that vestibule in the front, and like we did in the junior high, we have one entrance in. You have to go through the office. The office will have to be reconfigured to be able to have secretaries up front to have a view of who's going to be at the front door. Our district-wide policy is doors will be locked so that new visitors coming in, they have a buzz, they get let into the vestibule area, and then they can be let further. So just trying to enhance the security that way. There will be some remodeling happening up here because of that. Areas that buildings, so that because the way the new building is connected, it makes it more secure. But then areas that are needing fencing, there will be fencing added. Don't get hung up on the style of fence here either. Kevin found a picture of the fence right here. It's not going to be your cell chain link fence from Salem Penitentiary. It's going to be something very nice looking. In fact, in the front where we're talking about possible, if there's going to be fencing needed up in this area, where's the other one? Kevin is over.
Right, over by the activity channel.
Yeah, over here. So this, I don't know if you guys can see that very good. It's one that we found that was from the School for Deaf. If you can see, it's a metal that they cut into all the different sign language things. So it's kind of art included in it. And so, I mean, we probably aren't going to do sign language on ours, but trees, elk, I don't know, something very sweet home-ish can be cool. Fun. We have a huge plasma cutter in high school. So for kids to be able to get involved with being able to design and cut stuff, and we can use it for having artwork as part of the security.
I had a client that took old rakes and metal from shovels and things like that and made
Put it together. Yeah.
gates. It was awesome.
Very cool stuff. So yeah, we're excited to see where that's going to end up too.
Yeah.
And then we have a space. So where how tall is this? That building, there's a building right here, right now. Where that building, when it gets removed, there'll be this courtyard, this inner courtyard. In fact, that we're wanting to be able to have a space that's safe and secure, that kids can still be outside. We're hoping to not create a building where you never see sunshine. I know the components too, or right now kids go outside and go back inside, so they do see sunshine. We don't want to eliminate the going outside part. So we're trying to make a very nice outside area where we can still gather, eat lunch, hang out, go between classes. They're going to be going sway along there. And then the classroom wing we were talking about, we could talk more about it, but there'll be a 2-story, so it'll be something very different from all of our other schools. Have science rooms designed just for science. Lab rooms have the I don't know, just the different rooms designed just for them, and then these rooms here. Will be partially, they're partially a remodel and partially added on to, so, because this area currently has classrooms.
I know we're not into the year yet, but for the double. 2-story, the ADA compliance portion of it.
Exactly what I.
We'll have an elevator.
Okay, as well, as to say, because Takina Hall. The LBCC, they end up, it's an elevator, but it's a lift. Hydraulic lift.
Yeah, this will have an actual elevator.
Okay.
So my high school, we had an elevator, but if you were in a wheelchair or had crutches or whatever, you had to get a certain pass to be able to use
Which is what we were talking about too, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not just a free for all, kids
Right.
going on there.
it.
But it can be, and then staff and then moving stuff up and down. And
Right, right.
There's a lot. Okay, so before, so sneak peek. So this is, next thing you're gonna see, I don't want you guys to think too much about the tiny details, again, this is really thoroughly on, but. It was fun to see and get an idea, this would be looking from the south side. Back towards that 2-story area, and we'll kind of walk through a little bit of some fun features of this. But this end here, because the hallway coming from that main office is up here, comes straight through, so if you walk in those front doors, looking straight down the hallway, you're looking back out glass at this side. You're not looking down into the end of a dark tunnel, you're actually looking at light going through. I don't know, you guys can ask questions too, if you see something on there, I've looked at this a bunch. We've kind of gone around with different ideas, we've tried different pitches with stuff, I don't, the end here, I can even show you some different things that we were creating to try to come up with new ideas. This is just a work in progress. We kind of were hoping these windows can get bigger. There's a balcony area up there. That'd be nice with these windows. They have a view. Actually, this one probably would have a view of the Weddell Bridge. So to be able to have that be more, like, be able to take all that in and really neat.
And then the rain coming off will just go into those rain gutters and down.
Gutters.
Not on the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is the courtyard side I was telling you guys about. So right now there's, the classrooms are right here. Those are removed, looking at creating a neat courtyard space that would be used for all kinds of stuff. Some of the schools we visited, they use this for small, like band concerts or outdoor event type things or, awards assemblies or different things that they use this kind of little amphitheater type setting for.
We practice our plays.
Yeah, there you go. The one was a stage and it was an actual like, play production thing.
Yeah.
So the, out in the courtyard, you are gonna be able to see the buses coming in and out. That's going to be a.
This is where the bus turn side is, so if I go back here. So the drop off zone is on this side, so we're looking, you're sitting right there looking back towards the building in that picture. And so, yeah, buses drop off and so kids come in through this way.
So that courtyard is not completely enclosed. It's going to have section in it
It
where.
would have fencing, it's hard to see in this picture, there is fencing.
Go back, I think one more, or a couple more. There is a larger one in the site plan. Yeah,
So you can kind of see the fencing right here.
Oh,
So the next corner of the building and over, so when the kids, they come in this, there'll be a vestibule type entry here too. So they can come straight into the school building from the buses.
and that admin will let them in, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, a
and,
lot of times it's the doors, they're open from this time to this time, that can be programmed.
yeah, and then once bell to bell, those will be locked, so it's only open in the morning for supervised entry for bus riders, so.
Yeah.
So I guess the reason I'm asking is because I know we were talking about safety, right? And so we think safety, we think bad things. We
Yeah.
want to prevent those. So I was asking only about that open area, because if anything bad would possibly happen, it would be that area because it's open. So that's what I'm driving at.
Need somebody to shop the fence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for that. And I'm like, watch your words, but yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to put that out
That's-
there.
I mean, you would have to walk between, you'd be on our property all the way back on our
Mhm.
road. To here with a lot of supervision.
Yep.
I don't know, you don't, again, you don't want it to be a prison, but you
Right.
want it to be
Right.
secure, so there's a balance there, that
Right.
we really tried to. Avoid with.
And a lot, let's see. A good portion of the security. decisions, questions, all that will be handled in executive sessions because those are protected,
Very good,
so that it's not out in the,
good.
yeah, so they
Yeah, just
know
not
how
like.
we would,
In-depth security type thing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
but this is not open for driving cars, so you're not gonna get someone driving in here to do harm. I don't know, it feels like it's pretty, yeah.
Will there be an automatic gate out there for the buses, or it's just marked, not allowed?
We haven't got that far with the station yet. Whether it's gonna have a gate that we close at night or whether, not sure how that will look.
Yeah.
Anything else on this before I go on? Courtyard. So this is that inside. These are called learning stairs. So it's kind of like a commons type space, but you don't have tables. It's more a place that you can hang out. I've got small pictures. You got some different angles of what this would look like. You can do presentations, again, you can do awards assemblies in here, you can do different things. Those are the doors we were looking at on that south side. So this is that hallway that goes straight through. And then these are one of the sets of stairs that goes upstairs from this end. There's another view of that. There's the learning stairs down here. Show a mock-up, so they're doing a presentation. This is the balcony I was talking about. Hopefully these windows we can get some more glass up in this area to be able to let that outside inside. Another view of it.
And are there two sets of stairs, one at each side?
Currently there is. We're thinking about putting another set in the middle if we can make it work. We just don't want to in 5 years be going, man, wish we would have, because we can't just
Yep.
throw stairs in.
Right.
We're really trying to figure out code wise, 2 sets is good.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that, but whether we want to, it's all it's money, so we're trying to figure out where to spend it, how to do it, what's gonna be right, so, yeah. This is first floor plan. And these are just ideas, like these rooms are the larger rooms that have labs in them. Like go back here. Any questions? Let's see, is there a second floor plan or is it after?
We just have the first.
Okay. So it's just this area, right? That's kind of through here, it's your second floor. Because this balcony kind of cuts around, stairs come up and land right there. So this is where those windows were looking outside. I was saying, hopefully bigger, they're right there.
Okay.
So. And then we were hoping to do a turf PE field in this area. Currently, a lot of the times when they're going PE, they're either gonna be out in wet grass or they're walking all the way across to the football field. So this would be huge to be able to have it right here, not wasting after class time walking back and forth. And then there's also, with that would be the possibility with the community support, we could expand this to have a softball, soccer, PE field. The community wants to support that sort of thing. It would find to be really cool. So for your feedback, you have more questions? I just started, or you guys begin?
I don't think.
So that's part of the reason, I mean, we were laughing, the whole reason to show you this ultimately is why we recommend you go in class. They obviously work with us well, good job. But also want you guys. As a superintendent, that's told me it's really important to continue to tell the story. We're like knee deep in this thing every day. No one else gets to hear it, so I also want you guys to know where we're at, what's going on. Yeah, what we do. If there's any other questions?
just beautiful,
It's fun, it's exciting.
yeah,
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you very much.
Okay, with that, action items, first one is A, designate the day, time, and location for the official school board meetings for the 2026-2027 school year. According to ORS 332.-4045 BDBDA. Boy, that's a mouthful. Yeah, and Right, any motions for
Motions or
motions first, then you can discuss.
I'll make a motion to discuss, what word would I use?
Proposed date, time,
I make a motion that we discuss the proposed date, time and location for the official school board meetings for the 2026-27 school year.
do you have a date and time?
That's what I was asking you.
Do you-
I,
You wanna
my,
keep-
my proposal is that we stay with what we have.
Gotcha, okay, there we go.
I'll second
All right, I have a motion to keep the designated date, time and location for the official board meetings. And a second, is there any discussion? No discussion? All right, all those in favor?
I,
Those opposed? And motion carries. And motion to, I'm looking for a motion to approve the authorization for the superintendent, business manager, or facility director to enter into negotiations with class architects for architectural engineering and related professional services associated with the upcoming bond project.
I'll make a motion to approve the authorization.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Awesome.
Got a motion and a second to approve authorization.
do we have discussion?
Yes.
I'd like to discuss what this authorization, the scope and time is, and what it allows for. I'm not sure who to ask.
For the,
For the authorization. So we're authorizing the superintendent, business manager and facilities director to enter into negotiations with the architects who obviously have done a beautiful job. But this is the part I'm just curious about for architectural, engineering and related professional services. I would like to hear a little bit about what we're approving. Is there money involved? What's the time involved? What's the scope?
yeah, go ahead,
Et
Kevin.
cetera?
How about in the board packet, item 8B, it's a 2-page summary, I can either read it. Or we can look at it.
Did not see that, which is why I'm asking questions.
I think in the board packet, it had a section. The board orders, which.
It was in the. It was in
Yeah, the original.
Then the original.
Yeah.
How about, while we're looking at that, which is. What this does is it allows us to start preliminary work beyond what was in the scope of the long range facility plan with GLAS architects. We would still, once we have negotiated contract, that needs to be approved by the board, and so that would. You will see this the second time when we were ready for that, to ask the board for approval.
So this answers the question that I had, it's the option. And then prior RFP request or proposal that we put out allows us to. Now, add this, their scope. of work. Where is approving you can negotiate that, yeah, right?
Correct. And the next part would be having a contract that we can come in front of the school board for approval. So this,
You believe that RFP option is broad enough to allow us to use.
yes, we've talked with other architecture firms too, and what they've said is. It's very similar to language that they've used when they. Work with the dispatch for a long range facility plan, then transition into the main project.
Is this what you have done in the past with the other buildings.
He did with the junior high school.
Any more discussion? Right,
I just asked the session, city students do, overflowing plans to do. Yeah, and well, yeah, the long, I mean, water system plan needs to be reported, you know, add this and RFP, but see that. And that the project that they essentially designed the long-range plan to allow them to complete that, so.
That accurate?
Correct.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Yep. Really good explanation.
okay, I have a motion to approve. In a second. Discussion, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Right, motion carries. Right, at this point, are there any board comments?
I just want to say congratulations to the board members that have been elected. I think today's work session was very exciting. We have some good focus for the future. And I think that streamlining that we talked about today is going to really help us. I want to say thank you to the board, that if any of us ever have a question, like Rachel did with, what was it, Q and O, I really think it's honoring that we supported that and just got it out there for discussion. So I just want to say, I think that was really good of us. And then I also just want to say, I think questioning helps us to make good decisions. So I just want to honor that, what you were talking about with questioning and transparency. And I just want you to know, I actually wrote something about you, and I was going to share it. I know you have shown you're a person of dignity. You are very discerning, intelligent, and committed. You have a vested interest in our schools and have a proven record of resolving conflict with dignity and grace. I know we can trust you'll always treat each one of us and the members of our community with the respect that they're due. And you have a high degree of integrity. And that's why I nominated you. And I just didn't have a chance to tell you why. And I wanted you to know I appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you, but I nominated you for those reasons.
Thank you. I appreciate the kindness.
Any others? All right, no late items. The future agenda items, summer conference. What was it, summer school conference? Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah.
July 16th from 9 to 3:30 at Maine Community College in Eugene. I believe me, Mike, and Julie are attending that. And hopefully we'll learn a bunch of new stuff about the new changes in laws and stuff. Next board officers meeting is to be determined. Next board meeting will be the second Monday of next month. New teacher luncheon is August 25th, 2026 at 11:30 at the boardroom at district office. And all staff in service September 1st, 2026, and more details to come. And with that, we're adjourned.
Good day.